We got a topic for today, talking about black hair. And for those of you who are listening and can't see, you know, Jacob got the Frank Ocean going on. He got the blonde. If you want
I should do the 645 AR with it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, Jacob, you changed your hair. You're blonde now. Tell us what prompted that? What prompted that move? It looks good. It looks good as shit.
I mean, I used to live a blonded life. What can I say, man? You know what I'm saying? Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
You really reference Frank every episode, yo.
Yo, it's like fucking. I know you don't watch it. I know you don't watch Insecure, but Insecure season 2.
No, whoa. Clarify that, because you know people gonna come from my neck. I'm on episode 1. I'm on episode 2.
Nigga, it's 4 years later.
I watch it at a slow rate. That's all.
A 4-year slow rate.
Yeah, I watch it at a slow rate. You know what I'm saying? I watch the show. I'm just moving a little bit slower than other folks.
I'm crying. Nah, but no. Since you just got started with Insecure, something you don't know yet is that in season 1, I think she has a Drake song every episode, or like a Drake lyric. There's a reference to Drake every episode. And then in season 2, there's a reference to Frank Ocean every episode.
Gotcha.
So I was just going to say we on our Insecure thing unknowingly. So, we'll try to work it in for the rest of season 1. Shout outs to Issa Rae. If you need any extras, if you need a lovable duo to quartet of niggas to just, I don't know, be there, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying we're versatile. Like one of us could be your date. One of us can be the nigga to tow your car. Like we have range. So
let us be eye candy in the videos, Frank. Come on.
Yo, and to Frank, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I know you got another album cooking up. We're really gonna put hot oil on our tongue. Used to be in your video, bro. We're here.
The Johnson baby oil.
We're here, Frank. We're here. But yeah, I changed my hair. I let the shit just grow. I didn't cut or really comb it. I mean, of course, I was oiling it and washing it, but I didn't comb it. I didn't brush it. I didn't do anything to it for 2 months straight. I just let it grow. And didn't dye it. I typically dye my hair every 2 to 3 weeks, and I've been doing that for a year and a half. But I just stopped, and I was like, let nature do its work. And I was loving the fucking texture, and yeah, I don't know. I was just starting to feel over the weekend. I was like, I need to manicure myself a bit because my mood was just starting to just spiral. So I was like, let me just get myself together because If I'm looking good, the mood should follow suit. It was my thought process behind it. But how about you? You're always changing your hair. You've been wearing more head wraps as the years have gone on. Very Andre 3000 of you.
Yeah, I've been wearing head wraps because my hairline fucked up. I have not been to a barbershop in almost a year.
Man's got the Y equals MX plus B.
Bro, I got my last cut around February. Yeah, it had to be February because I went out. I went out to Oakland, in San Francisco, and I got my hair cut before then, so I could look good, look a little fresh. And then I came back, and 2 weeks later, the pandemic hit, and since then we've been in the crib. So I have these beautiful, long, luscious locks, and I have my kind of undercut. And so now, I got a little afro coming with my locks and my hairline doing the Macarena. So you know what I'm saying? We keep the do rag on when we can.
You should let Marimbe cut your hair. You should let Marimbe cut your shit. You should let Marimbe cut your shit.
Bro, I really am. I'm gonna let Marimbe or my mom free to just shave the underside, and we just gonna throw up a prayer because it just bothers me. I mean, the reason I like having locks and kind of the shaved sides is so that you get again that Hannah Montana, that best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? The long, flowy, just luxury. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving me luxury with the long hair. And then you can feel the wind just running on your scalp. That shit feels so nice.
I'm just mad you referenced Miley Cyrus.
I didn't reference Miley Cyrus. I said Hannah Montana. Come on, don't sleep.
Bro.
It's two different folks. When the wig comes on, it's a whole different person.
Bro, what type of Clark Kent shit is
I've been
that?
growing my locks out for, I don't know. I'd say since my 4 years.
Oh, it's been that long. Damn. Yeah.
About 3 years.
That sounds about right.
And it's so rewarding. It really makes me feel like I come closer to myself every time I wake up and I see my hair getting longer. There's something about long hair that I really have always related to and has always made me feel like the most like accurately embodied.
Does because what bothered me about long hair, I did love having it, but the process of like waking up and like fixing it and everything and like making sure shit is like neat, because like I don't know, as a black person you just can't go out looking any kind of way, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, outside of the pandemic world, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't just be out here. So I just want to ask, like, how, like, do you enjoy the process, like, of getting your hair ready in the morning? Like, is that a thing you enjoy?
Yeah, I actually really thought a lot more about this prior to social distancing in a way that I hadn't previously, because I work in a predominantly white institution, and there was one point in my job where I was really like the only black person on my team.
Oh damn!
So I go into the building and immediately I'm in an environment that isn't, is not uplifting or reinforcing me.
Yeah.
To be
Keep
frank,
it a buck,
right?
To be frank, another Frank Ocean.
No, but seriously, and so that takes a real psychological toll on you after a while. And for me, doing my hair in the morning was a way of checking in with myself and getting grounded before going into that space.
Yeah.
And it was a chance to be creative with myself before going into that space. And what I found is that this sculpting and arranging and playfulness that I would find with my hair would give me a certain amount of courage throughout the day.
Okay.
And so, for example, like, there are different styles I'll do with my hair. Well, essentially, honestly, it kind of looks sculptural in a way. And maybe I'll have some visual references for folks who are watching this on the YouTube so they can see. But there's just a lot of different things that you can do with black hair. It's so versatile.
Yeah.
And there's some styles that I'll do where it literally looks like my hair is kind of defying gravity in this way that I love.
Yeah.
And so I would walk into this space, into this white ass, workplace, an environment where I sometimes felt uncomfortable, but be like, oh shit, I'm already defying gravity. Like, ain't nothing that can happen in this day that's gonna fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm already doing something miraculous.
Yeah.
And so hair was and is a real conduit of self-expression, but also self-empowerment. Yeah. In a way
I would also throw on an act of resistance in and of itself.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it
just brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah. No, that's super dope. I mean, I think the not like haha hee hee like kiki and funny, but like I guess more in an ironic sense. Like what's funny about black hair is that there's like certain hairstyles outside of like the season, the dark season, light season, like fade type shit that are like have been deemed safe, and then those that have been deemed unsafe. Like I know for myself, even when I had my hair long, I always played with color and shit. So my hair was always looked at as being safe, like because it was like, well, excuse me, the tequila is, it's doing this. He feeling
it, y'all.
Can we get a little Mr. Krabs? The tequila is working. It's Michael Jordan magic on me. But I say all this to say, like, I don't know. I've always found it interesting of like, there's certain hairstyles that are like deemed safe, and then some that are deemed unsafe. Whether it's through the white gaze or also like through the black community. Because I will say, with having my hair dyed or being different colors, I always get annoyed that white people want to talk to me more, because I'm like, yo, leave me alone, bro. I'm not trying to talk to your ass. Like if I was trying to talk to your ass, I would have said good morning while I walked by. I didn't. I'm not trying to talk to you. Like, but also like, having like different color hair means that like sometimes, specifically with black like cis het men, like will want to step to me more to be like, "Yo, you fucking pussy" type shit. It's like, sir, all I did was order a beer at this bar.
Right? It's like, ain't nobody bothering you. Leave me alone.
It's Sunday. I'm trying to get a bagel, my nigga. Like chill. So I just want to know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I was actually wondering if you could speak a little bit more about how you made choices with your hair. Because honestly, again, for context, Jacob and I have known each other for most of our life, for years.
True.
And I remember in like, when did you first dye your hair? Middle school?
No, the first time was probably like junior year of high school. So when I was like 16 going on 17 type shit.
Yeah. Because I think you were the first black boy who I knew who had dyed hair. And I'm just wondering what your experience was like playing with color and playing with style. You know, you had puffs at one time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Before Toby Lou did.
You had a flat top at one time. Like, you've had so many different hairstyles. I wonder if you can speak about how you experimented with playfulness in a dynamic where, especially I think with young black boys, there's an expectation of, all right, you got the light seeds, you got the dark seeds, you got waves maybe, or you got a fade, and like that's it.
I think for me, I just want to say I had the puss before Toby Lou did. I fuck with you, bro. Your music is fire, but I did have the shit before. But with that being said, I always looked at black hair as an extension of style, and I always looked at style as an extension of like black resistance, in a sense of like, I don't know, just like as a kid and growing up, like I would always just wear whatever the fuck I wanted, like regardless of what somebody said. You know, I got in trouble when I was in public school because I wouldn't always wear the uniform, or I would alter it just enough, like to the point where I would get in trouble. So I don't know. I feel like for me, it was always the kind of thing of just like, if I saw something dope, I was just like, well, why don't I try that out? Like, I think the flat top thing was just like seeing like niggas from like the 80s and 90s had that and being like, yo, well, like, is the shit really that dead? Like, niggas still wear afros, and that was popular in the 60s and 70s. So like, why don't I just try the flat top shit? I tried a mohawk. That shit was not cool. But was not a good look. But you know what I'm saying? Still, it was like, might as well just try it out. I think for me specifically with color though, it was the same reason as to like why, I mean, even to this day, I like wear shorts and like long tennis socks or some shit. Like just to, like, just cause it's like, I don't know. For me, I've always been the kind of person, I'm like, if I feel like something is dope, like, and it looks dope, I'm gonna like actually just make it unequivocally look dope, to the point where if you're talking to me, it's cause whether it's love or hate or whatever, like you're talking to me because the shit is dope. Like, so yeah, I don't know. That was always just my perspective. And shit has not always worked out. Like, I've worn purple skinny jeans, I've worn turquoise V-necks. Like,
I used to love the purple skinny jeans, like, so I'm not gonna lie.
I love them too. They just, you know, like, in hindsight, they weren't a flex. So hey, you know, you live and learn. But I feel like with that being said, like, just, I don't know, just having that agency of hair and just being like, yo, like, I can change the shit, I can move the shit around however I want, like, has just led me to be more unapologetic in my life, of just being like, no, I'm doing this right now. Like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I see you. Keep shining. I'm gonna go over here. Yeah. So that's like been my thing. I mean, I guess my question for you is like, growing up, like, how was hair like looked at in your household? Like, just what were some like values that you were taught, or just like motifs that, you know, were reoccurring? Yeah,
I think that hair has always been an essential part of my identity, and I think in a lot of ways an essential relationship with my mom's. Like, I think getting my hair braided was the first ceremony that I was really aware of and a part of. Like, it was an event, you know. And Bisa is super tender-headed. My younger brother, remember, was kind of tender-headed as well. But I loved getting my hair done. Like, it was this whole process where, you know, we don't do it. take the braid. I had braids until I was 13, so super long. Never cut my hair before then. And for me, there was something about the proximity that I had to my mom in that moment that was the most like tender expression of love. Even though sometimes that shit hurt because I didn't wrap my hair up the way I was supposed to.
Yeah.
And so when it was time to detangle it, I was sniffling and shit.
Speak on it.
But but it really was like this ceremony where, you know, I take my hair out, wash my hair. When I was younger, I used to be able to wash my hair in the sink.
Oh, yeah,
right? So I kind of lay down and she'd just wash my hair in the sink and then shampoo it, comb it out, wash it again, dry it, grease my hair. And the whole time I was just so aware of her hands on my scalp or leaning on her leg while she was braiding my hair. And as I got older and I had more hair, this shit took forever.
Yeah.
But there was something about that whole process that felt really restorative. And then you come out and you shine and your braids are slick, they're clean. You wake up the next day, you go into school, you feel good about yourself. Like there's no better feeling than having like fresh braids or a fresh cut. Which I've, you know, realized later on. But
that reminds
me. So I think getting my hair done was the first ceremony that I was really aware of. And having long hair was one of the first things I knew about myself. I remember being like 3 or 4 and kind of just like reading these books in like the reading area in my room. Yeah. And I was looking at pictures of like people with long hair and like Teresa Weatherspoon, again, going back to Teaspoon. I saw Teaspoon's braids and I was like, oh, I want to look like that. Like, I want to embody that. That's how I'm going to be. That's how I'm going to present myself in the world. And I just knew off rip that, like, I'm not going to cut my hair. I'm going to have long hair forever. And so it's been so nice after, you know, getting my hair cut around 13 or 14, like 8th grade.
Yeah. I remember that.
And coming back into this process of growing my hair out long again. And it really impacts my movement, which I didn't realize until I was looking at pictures of me in high school, in late middle school, and I feel so stiff. You know, I look at those photos and I feel like I'm so stiff, even when I have my afro going out.
Sure.
Side note, you know, I love the fro, but there were days when I was not attending to it the way I needed to. Yeah. My shit was looking fucked up.
Little tilt to the globe.
My shit was looking fucked up.
No.
But yeah, it was. You know, there was a range. There was a range of crispiness to messiness.
But that process is helpful to learn just how to take care of the shit on your own. Because like I had the opposite, where like my hair was long for like the first 2 years of my life, and then short for like, I don't know, like 12, 13 years afterwards. Like, and then like having the shit grow out, like being older and getting twists and shit. I was like, damn, I did not know this shit. Like, I didn't remember this shit hurt this much. Like, I did not know this shit takes this long. I didn't know I needed this much grease. Like nigga, like so much coconut oil. Like I just like I didn't
just scalp ice and
like I did not know. So like I say all that to say like I do feel like that process is helpful, especially like because I feel like black like femme body people or like black women, like, you know, even though that it like we were talking about black hair as it relates to black femme bodies is a totally different conversation. But I feel like if we're just going to talk about the binary, like the other side of the gender spectrum is encouraged to have their hair be longer. So like, you know, for them, like I remember when I would talk to my mom about being like, damn, like I really got to wrap my shit up right now. Like she'd be like, yes, like what, like how the fuck do you not know this? And I'd be like, bro, I've had a light Caesar for 13 years. Like there's no maintenance. There's no maintenance besides for washing it and like greasing it every 2 days and like brushing it that I needed to do.
Yeah, no, wrapping hair up is real. It's real and essential. And I think part of why I wasn't maintaining it as well as I could have was because I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like I had always identified with having long hair. Yeah. So now I kind of had this short hair. I was just kind of getting it cut out of habit. Again, getting these fades, light Caesars, dark Caesars. But it didn't. Actually, no, I never got a light Caesar. That was wrong. I would look like Caillou with a light Caesar.
Light Caesar suck.
But
unless you got a beard. It's the only way.
but my movement felt stiff, right? And so it's been so nice to grow my hair long and to feel like I have that more fluid movement that I had when I was younger, and that feels like closest to me.
Yeah.
And in a way, is really related to, I think, a very specific Black femininity that was informative for like my construction of myself growing up. You know, again, like growing up with two moms. Again, Teresa Weatherspoon is like my idol. Like I was really basing a lot of my aesthetic presentations around a lot of the Black women who I was seeing.
Yeah.
Right? And so even like the way my mom Frida walks or dresses herself, or the way my mom Marsha carries herself in the room, Teaspoon's hair, all of these different embodiments I kind of picked up on and incorporated into my own sense of self. So then when I was like, oh, well, now I gotta walk around with short hair and just like, it didn't resonate with me in the same way. So I do think that part of the comfort in having long hair is related to this comfort with a very specific Black femininity that was foundational to like how I see myself and how I locate and position myself as a young child. Yeah. So yeah.
No, that's fair. What's been I gotta ask, what's been your most uncomfortable white person moment with your hair?
Oh my days, bro. Oh
I'm
my
sure
days.
there's a living archive, but
before the pandemic and social distancing, I think there was a white person who asked to take a picture of my hair at work. For context, I work at a gallery. I'd say every week.
Yikes. Not because your hair isn't dope. Just
I'd say
yikes.
maybe for like the last 3 or 4 months, like every single week, multiple times a week, often, but just erring on the side of like generosity, at least once a week for months.
Jesus,
and
that's crazy.
And that shit was just terrible. Honestly, it's frustrating because it became really just objectifying at a certain point, and it's like I'm doing this for myself, and it's also bringing me this unwanted attention. Like people can't just say, "Oh, I like your hair," go right there. I'm like, "Oh, can we take a picture? Oh, can I touch it?" Yada yada yada, and it made me kind of not want to wear my hair in these creative styles because I didn't want this extra attention. Like I'm just showing up to do my job. Like I don't, say it's not a performance, but. Yeah, I think the wildest time though was when we were I was in London, and this older white woman just came and just boop, touched my hair. Wow. She just came and just felt it was like,
but you're
so
racist.
So soft. And I thought it was Bisa initially. So I turned around and just like smacked the hand off thinking it was Bisa. And then it's just this old white woman. I'm like, bruh, what are you doing?
Yeah, bruh, what the fuck?
Why is your hand in my hair? And she just walked away. She
no words.
Carried on about
no
her day.
Exchange.
I don't know if she spoke English.
She didn't say a single thing?
No, she said, I think she said some type of like, oh, soft, but I don't know, she had like a German accent. And then I like smacked her hand away and was like, why are you touching my hair?
What?
And she just looked at me and then turned and walked away.
What?
And I was like, this was maybe, I want to say 16.
Bro,
16.
what?
That was the weirdest. That was definitely the weirdest. Yeah. I don't know. It was wild. Do you feel like there's a hairstyle that you're most proud of for pulling off?
Most proud of? I guess it would have to be the puffs for me. Yeah. Just because, I didn't know anybody that had that hairstyle at the time. Like I knew some like black girls who would occasionally wear their hair in puffs, but I didn't know anybody who like had that as like, oh yeah, I'm rocking this for like a year type shit. Yeah, I think that for me was a big moment because it was me taking something that's like supposed to be temporary, and being like, yo, like let's like just like I'm just gonna make this the hairdo, and it was because I got tired of having to sit and get my shit twisted, or like go and pay somebody like $130 or some shit to twist my shit. Like, I just was like, that's so expensive. Like, honestly, shout outs to black women and black femme people for spending so much money on getting your hair done at salons. Like, shout outs, because it's just it's just like a financial level of dedication that I was like, I remember talking to my mom about it, just being like, yo, like, how much money have you spent on your hair? She was just like, bro, like, you don't want to know. Like, I was like, yo, facts. So it was something that was just born out of like a lot of different like needs and desires. But yeah, that for me would definitely be the one. Just cause it caused a lot of people agitation, I guess, within themselves, and they felt like they needed to yell at me on the street, to which I yelled back, suck my dick, and that doesn't always end well. Like, it also like led to, I mean, a lot of uncomfortable interactions with white people being like, are those earmuffs? And me having to be like,
no,
bro,
that's wild.
Like, yeah, no, there would be so many times where I'd be like, bro, like,
that's wild. No, that's so out of pocket.
No,
I
literally like said to one lady once, I was just like, yo, are you dumb? And she's like, well, no, I was just like, are you fucking dumb? Like, so I would just like, for me, it made that hairstyle is just like so, it just meant so much to me, because I was like, I could wear my hair any style, but this one in particular, like, has just put me like through the trenches in terms of like all the negatives, all the positives that come with like being black and having your hair in a quote unquote unconventional style.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
And also, I don't know, for some reason that also made me think of I don't know if they're like if I can call them superstitions or quirky things, but black folks seem to be particular about their hair. And I'm wondering if you've experienced this, because this is something that my mom told me, that her mom told her.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know where she got it from, but apparently, like, you're not supposed to throw away hair. Like, my mom will never, ever throw away hair.
I do.
It's like, it's like if she'll just always like flush in the toilet, but she just, apparently, like, you just don't throw away hair.
Yeah.
Is that something that's familiar to you?
Ooh, that's such a rabbit hole to go down, cause, okay, all right. For me, I know it as being two different things. Actually three. And I'll move through them quick. First one is on some Southern shit, because like my granny was, from North Carolina. And so I don't know. I heard that from her growing up. I assume I was just like, all right, I guess it's just some like Southern black people shit. So I have no more insight into that besides for just that statement. The second thing is, my dad growing up, he had dreads for like the first 12 years of my life, and the shit were like, they were like all the way down past his kneecaps. Like, they were long as fuck. Like, they're the reason why he's bald today, because the shit was just Stevie Wonder in his shit. Like, just straight up yoink every day. Because they were too fucking heavy.
Yeah,
he hated wrapping them up. Like, but you're supposed to, put them up. You're not supposed to have them down all the time, especially if they're that long.
Yeah. You said yoink.
Yeah, his shit was, it was catching the fade, literally, bro. Like, that shit. So when he cut his shit, he kept it in a bag, and I think his reason, it was just like, yeah, Rasta's never throw away their hair or some shit. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, okay, all right, sweet. And then the third reason I can think of is more on some like barbershop, like toxic masculinity, conspiracy theory shit. Of like, I remember I've had a few niggas talk to me about this before, and I've always just been like, you know the kind of yep you do when you don't want to engage, like, but they just keep going. Of fucking Samson getting his hair cut in the Bible and being like the hair is a man's fucking like life energy or some shit like that. So those are the three reasons I've like either experienced or observed, or like just three different kinds of people. In terms of like blackness in the diaspora. So I don't know. I don't know. What have you heard?
I mean, I've read a little bit about it, but I want to do more. I want to do more reading and research and kind of come back to it. But I just want to know if that was something that was familiar to you, because it's something that I ask my mom about all the time. I'm like, where did you hear this? And she was like, yeah, it's just This is what my mom told me. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Black holes, we don't throw. So I'll be curious for any of our listeners if that's familiar to y'all, and y'all have any stories from your own families about why we don't throw away hair.
True.
Yeah, I'm just super curious about it.
Yeah. I think for the fucking for the Instagram page, we should post both our best and worst hairstyles.
Oh, I have the thing. Here's the thing about me. And again, I've been wearing my do-rag and various head wraps that I love, but don't get it fucked up. I got range. I have fucking range, yo. One of my favorite all-time things that I've done last summer, I did a different hairstyle each day for 30 days. Successfully. Each day, like for 1 month, I wore a different hairstyle every single day. Just to flex on the versatility.
I forgot. That was dope. That was super dope. I forgot all about that. Yes.
I might have to link that or put some examples up, but yeah, I'm telling y'all, as soon as I can get to the barbershop safely, the thirst trap photos are coming.
I just need to get
the DMs are open. I'll be messy.
Oh no, that's fair. That's fair. I was literally just saying to my partner that like once shit is open again, I've never binge drank in my life, but I might have to for that. Like I've literally like never been like. I mean, I guess except for you guys' senior week, but like, which kind of counts, but not really, because like, binge drinking is supposed to be like you just non-stop type shit. Like, I've never done that before, but like, when shit is open again, I really might have to. Like, just so I don't blame you. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be the only one. I feel like there will be a new. I feel like Gen Z might become the new boomers just because of the fact that when this shit like is over in 2 years, there's probably going to be a baby boom, bro. Like,
well, there's already a baby boom. People been at home.
That's true. That's true. People have been having kids. That's crazy. I'd be too scared.
No.
Like, I'd be too scared. But no, it seems like we're veering off. This is a good topic. You know, y'all should also, you know, I don't know, let us know what y'all favorite, I don't know, black hairstyles are. I don't know.
Well,
just
I want to see the hairstyles y'all got, because I know some
people might be camera shy. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, if you're not camera shy, drop a photo. You know what I'm saying? Drop a selfie. We'll put the promo stuff on the Twitter feed.
Facts.
Again, I sound like an old man. The Instagram, the Twitter feed. Look, y'all. I'm learning as we go. All right,
bro.
But no, how about this? I'll share a photo of my hair, of some of my favorite hairstyles, my best hair days.
We will also post. Well, I will at least post my worst hairstyles as well. so you can feel like it's
when
a
the
safe
locks were
space.
coming in, there was some suspect.
Yeah, I just want people to feel like it's a safe space. Like, yeah.
How it started, how it's going, moment. Oh my goodness!
That's funny, dude.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, no, we'll share some photos of our greatest hits, our hairstyle greatest hits,
our journey. Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Man, I don't know.
We also have a dope interview this week. Jacob, you want to introduce our guest?
I mean, yo, you know what I'm saying? So, this week we have none other than the amazingly talented Anaiet Soul. She plays keys. She's learning to play guitar. She's able to write for full 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 50, 11 piece band, bro. She's got, you know what I'm saying, the pipes, the vocal cords, the range, no auto-tune needed. Like if you were to take a fully produced song and just put it into one person, she would be the one to make it for you. So, you know, let's welcome Anaiet Soul to the show. I'm sure she's going to give us a lot of insight into her activism in Chicago, as well as just her musical journey. And honestly, just like how this year has shaped her perspective on what's to come.
Today, we have the glory, the pleasure. Ooh.
Come on now.
The pleasure of having other than Chicago's own wildly talented musician, pianist, vocalist, and activist, Anaiet. Welcome to the SBC podcast. How are you doing today? Let us know.
10 out of 10 would recommend having good.
Hey!
Bet we're starting off with bars already. Y'all not. I should to the. They're not ready. Yo. All right. So, you know, on this podcast, we love to have hella fun, but we also, have to toe the line between, being silly but also serious. So I want to get right into just talking about like just the plethora of activism you've been involved in this year, like whether it's spearheading with Black Rising or just showing up to protest during a fucking pandemic. Like that alone is just a lot to ask of anybody. But you've been out here. So last on our previous episode, we were having a conversation about like intersectionality within the Black community. Like, but we're two cishet Black men, so we could only take things so far. And we admitted that on our episode of just like, yo, we're trying, we're like, we're trying to give y'all as much knowledge as we can, but we admit our shortcomings. So with all that being said, I just wanted to like hear from you as to like, how different does the movement feel now that intersectionality and different intersections of Black identity are finally being talked about on like a national level?
It feels good to finally be seen, I guess. Honestly. I'm sorry, this is a very loaded question.
Take it wherever you want to.
It feels good to be seen, but also like I definitely find myself in situations where people expect us to educate them all the time. That shit is annoying. Like your white friends or whatever, or just anybody that's not a woman
Sure. No.
asking you dumbass, well, not dumbass questions, but it's just like, I don't know, like some people be expecting Black women to like be everything for them. Like you have to educate me, you have to nurse me back to health, you have to do XYZ, and that's a lot to deal with, especially when we don't really get the same thing in return from people.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's been kind of annoying. And it's not even, I wouldn't say it's happened to me so much as my friends and like the other members of Black Rising. Yeah. What else?
No. I mean, that makes me just want to like ask the question of like, do you feel like people need to do more than just like hop online and be like, we need to protect Black women, like
Yeah, they actually need to. Well, see, okay. That's like, okay.
please
That's
give it
like
to us.
white. That's like white people putting Black Lives Matter in their windows, but not doing anything after that. You can say protect Black women, but how do you treat the Black women in your household? How do you treat your mother? How do you treat Black women that you don't know, that you aren't trying to fuck? Because niggas, sometimes men will just like not care, and that's not okay. Like, if you really are about protecting Black women, then you should be like opening your purse. You should be making people feel safe. That's really important, because we had a couple incidents this summer where people that weren't necessarily welcome in our spaces due to them being abusers or whatever were coming to our protests or our jail support or whatever, and it's like, thanks for showing up, but also you're not making anybody here comfortable. You have to leave. Like, go support in some other way besides you being here.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
Like, my
very touchy
Venmo,
stuff.
our Venmo, like
Right, exactly. Like, you know what my Venmo is. Just,
no.
point, Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, nothing to apologize for. Like you said, it is like it's a lot. You're thinking about, okay, how do we organize around, like, how do we organize in spite of patriarchy, in spite of really like black men's insistence to show up mostly for themselves, right? And to put themselves first in their activism, and then like when it's related to black women and just like black folks in general, niggas is largely silent, right? Or for example, you have a situation where you could have Tory Lanez at a Black Lives Matter protest, and then like the next month or whatever, shoot Megan Thee Stallion, and you have niggas online talking about, oh well, we still gonna listen to the music, yada yada. You know, like that conditional solidarity. It's a real organizing. It's hard to it's a real organizing deterrent, right? It's hard to kind of organize around that. So, I mean, don't apologize at all, because you're trying to move through these like big ass questions, and I think it's important work that is messy and difficult. And so I guess just for some of our listeners who aren't from Chicago and aren't really familiar, could you talk a little bit about what Black Rising is, and how you organize in a way that feels safe for your community members, in a way that isn't tied to patriarchal norms or heteronormative norms? Just like, how do you make your community feel safe within Black Rising and the events that y'all organize?
So from the jump, Black Rising was started by 4 people that just so happened to know each other. Me, Naira, Gertrude, and Mondo. We've all been friends for like, I guess, sort of kind of quite a while. Like, we've known each other mutually, and like, we just so happened to be at a protest one day, and Gertrude was giving everybody rides home, and we were like, yeah, do y'all want to keep doing this like together? So we just started Black Rising, and one of the first things that we did was like buying groceries for people doing mutual aid and stuff like that. After the looting happened, well, the first round, I guess, we kind of went around Roseland, just drove around, asked people what they need as far as groceries, got people's contacts, delivered groceries and shit. And that was sort of the first step. And then we got more into organizing protests. One of our first protests was for Oluwatoyin Salau. It was a silent sort of protest. We stayed, I forgot what intersection it is. I think it's Michigan and
Was that
Jackson.
was that when y'all were on Ida B. Wells Drive?
Yeah, that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we were there for 8 hours to, represent the 8 days that she was missing. Well, wait, was it 8 hours? I'm sorry, I really don't remember all the details.
No, I think you're right.
But the beautiful thing about that was the weather was trash that day. Like, it was raining and shit, and like the amount of people that still stayed out there to like support us really just like warmed my heart and let me know that people do care. I definitely saw a lot of Black men out there too. Not as many as there should have been, but we're we're making progress. But after that, and after all of our protests, we always, always, always make sure people get home safe. That's one of our biggest things. So we'll always like order Ubers for people, or like have our marshals or medics like travel in groups together, because we don't like people going alone,
Yeah.
especially with a large police presence downtown. So
Yeah.
um,
I mean,
we just,
oops, sorry.
yeah,
No, I was gonna
you're
ask
good.
actually, and if this is like just like too traumatic to recount, then like you could definitely be like, fuck it, next question. But I wanted to ask just like about your experience, like that first night, that first weekend, like when the looting happened in Chicago, just because like a lot of people who weren't here don't know that there was like there were intentional decisions made against people who were out there protesting that day. Um, like, and I know I have my own experience and story to tell about that day, but I'm just curious as to like what your experience was like that day.
Are you talking about May 30th?
Yes,
Um,
like that very first weekend.
um, I don't even remember how the day started. Uh, I do remember some powerful moments, though. I remember when we decided to take Lakeshore. That shit was pretty great. Niggas was breaking barricades and shit. And just like, I definitely saw a couple people fall over that barricade too, and everybody was making sure that people got up and, you know, nobody was left behind. Definitely appreciated that. I was definitely scared. uh, but it was my first time interacting with police in that way, I guess. Shit got kind of crazy when we got back to state, I believe it was. It was like a large group, and like we sort of got separated, and because some people were still engaging with the police line, and it was a setup, you know, it was a setup. Niggas, yeah, but that happened. I sort of got, you know, separated from my folks, but there were so many people around me that I knew that I was like, I felt okay. And yeah, I remember getting spit on by a cop.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. What else I remember? I remember shit burning, bro. Like I was near Block 37
Oh yeah.
with one of my friends after, you know, shit got really, really crazy. I got like super separated. Like I didn't know
Could you
who I'm
in the
sorry.
area like you were around, just for like folks who like, because like most of our listeners are like either from Chicago or like from Brooklyn, so I'm sure there's
Oh yeah,
just
yeah.
gonna be like, the fuck are they talking about? Like, yo, like, what is going on?
Sorry, I'm being big.
Like,
No, not at all.
explain like what kind of area Block 37 is, and like
So Block 37 is like a big ass mall essentially, on what is it, State and Lake over there. And on the street behind Block 37, like somebody just like blew up a car. Like it was on fire. And we was hiding on the side of the building because we were like, wait, is this bitch gonna explode? And then they had arrested this one lady, and like they got distracted because the car started burning and she ran. G.
Hey, we love that. Liberation.
But yeah, it got really scary after that because Lori, you know, Lori wanted to raise the bridges.
Yeah.
So that wasn't great. I walked from what is that? I walked from like Millennium Park to maybe 47th and State or something like that because there was no way I was getting out of there, G. No way.
like
By an Uber? No, none of the buses were running.
Yeah.
There was nothing. The white people in their little high rises were probably scared. I don't know.
yo,
And on top of that, like I remember standing by Zoomies, right? And like they were arresting somebody, and they had like a wagon in the middle of the street, and the window was like already broken open. And I'm just like, these socks, these socks looking real good right now. But it was so funny to me because I'm just like, but my mom didn't raise me like this. I'm not gonna take nothing that's not mine. And then like a bunch of dudes like ran in there and shit, and you know, like just started handing out stuff. And that's what really got me, because like it wasn't like people were being selfish with this material shit, because it didn't matter, you know. Just like, if you need this, take it, you know. And it wasn't just like with clothes or anything. Like I saw people giving out food from Target and all types of shit. So I guess that was like a little community building.
No, but I think it speaks to some real shit, because people often categorize looting as if it's a recreational activity, right? But what it really is a redistribution of hoarded resources, right? It's like if these things aren't present in the community for folks in a way that's accessible, and there's an increased amount of police terror and violence, and then the stuff is just sitting there, like that's what's gonna happen. If the resources were equally distributed, niggas wouldn't loot, you know, and that's just the reality of the situation. But that emphasis on like that communal moment makes me want to circle back to two things that you mentioned before. The first was that you mentioned being scared while seeing people go over this barricade, but also helping people come up. But you stayed in the protest, right? And
Of
I
course.
think that um, that's something that's really significant because there's a lot of fear around political organizing intentionally. I think that police and other state forces do things to deter us from organizing, right? Political assassinations or you know uh, uh, making voting inaccessible. There are certain things that certain hurdles that we have to cross or overcome in order to politically organize. And it's scary at times, but I think it still needs to happen while we're scared. Um, there are two things, that stand out to me from what you just mentioned. One is this communal care that's happening, even in this moment of looting, right? Like people are redistributing resources, or for example, people jumping over hurdles and barricades and making sure that people aren't left behind, right? Like there's so much care that's happening in these moments of intensity. And you also mentioned having fear, right? Having a certain level of fear while protesting, but still showing up to do so. And I'm wondering if you can talk about how your community helps you overcome that fear so you can show up for yourself and for other Black folks in a way that feels meaningful.
Yeah, I definitely will say that. As long as I've been protesting, there was really never a moment that I didn't know whether or not niggas had me. Like,
Fact.
cause that day, like I said, that day I could not get home. I had to stay with a friend of a friend, and that was pretty tough. Like,
Yeah.
and just with some of the other protests that I've been at too, like it's really it's important to have protests and like cause a little bit of chaos, but it's also important to love on the people around you
Yeah.
in those moments, because like despite all those cops being out there and despite me seeing niggas get their whole asses beat, bro, like I still knew that if I was like alone at any time, somebody would grab me.
Mm-hmm.
If I had fallen, somebody would pick me up.
Yeah.
Um,
Eh,
and
No, I was just gonna say that sense of community, and this is where I'm gonna shift things a little bit to go a little more lighthearted, but still as honest and as deep as we've been going. Because I feel like your music, like the range of emotions in your music and everything, um, is just as wide as like what you've described the protest like, and just what the vibe of the city has been like and was like all summer. And I just wanted to ask you, like, in terms of like community and Chicago, whether it be the activism community or the music community, of which there's a lot of overlap. Like, what do you feel like makes Chicago so unique in that sense that like activists and musicians are often like one and the same?
um, I'm trying to remember that Nina Simone quote. Wait, was that Nina Simone? Somebody somewhere, a wise person once said that the job of like artists and musicians is to like reflect the time
Mm-hmm.
that they're
Yeah.
in, and I feel like they do that very, very well. Because like a lot of the activists that I know are also like poets and like members of like Young Chicago Authors, or like they just have all this other stuff going too. And being that artists, like we're overly emotional and shit, and like all the excess energy that we have that exists within us is put into our art. it 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 shows.
Yeah. I'm just curious, what are your like favorite ways to like wear your hair? Like that's our topic of the episode today. So like, just want to get to it. I feel like we all have fabulous hair. Like, but what are just some of your favorite ways at the moment? Because I feel like that's something that's constantly changing.
Um, so doing my hair is kind of therapeutic for me, honestly.
Mhm.
It's definitely one of my forms of self-care, and it forces me to like literally sit down with myself for hours and just
Yep.
Uh,
and just be. And I love doing my hair. And I really feel like don't other people black people that are not black don't understand how important hair is
no.
to us. But
Mhm.
anyway, um, the ways that I like to wear my hair. I recently ventured on this new journey of like a half and half kind of vibe. So I actually did my hair before I hopped on this with you because yesterday it was just in this giant little poofy afro, and I'm like, I can't do this. My hair is gonna break off if I walk outside because it's too cold. Too cold for this. So I had to, put some raising or whatever.
Yeah.
But I I love box braids. I used to do those a lot. Yarn braids are actually also my favorite, probably more so than box braids because for me, acrylic yarn helps my hair retain a little bit more moisture.
Ah,
Yeah, and I don't have to use a lot of. They're very light, and I also don't have to use a lot of like products or whatever
interesting.
when I'm trying to maintain them. So
Dope. Very dope.
You spoke a little bit about why hair is just, I mean, yeah, hair is important to black folks. And I honestly don't know why that is in relation to like other ethnicities or racial groups. Like, it just seems like a thing. But for us, it holds this significance. And I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about that more. Specifically, I don't know. I really like the idea or the belief that hair holds emotion, right? Hair holds feeling.
mm,
And I'm wondering what feelings your hair holds or is holding right now, and if that translates into your music at all, or just like how that
that's a
informs.
beautiful question.
Thank you.
Beautiful question. What emotions does your hair hold? Well, I guess since we're on the topic of that, I did big chop like 2 years ago.
I was
And
okay.
what?
If you've ever done one, sorry, keep going, keep going.
Yeah. So I big chopped 2 years ago, and for me, that released a lot of a lot of sadness. I guess I was very sad. Very there was a bit of self-loathing happening with that. And I let it all go.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. I let it all go.
Amen.
And that process, growing my hair back, has just been like it's definitely been a journey. I remember like the first week that I cut it off, like I was feeling great. I was living my best fucking life. And then like there would be days where I'd be like, damn, I look like a potato. or, or like or a milk dud or whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I was definitely kind of scared to like dye my hair once it grew back. So for a while, this year, I just went all black. And I also did that because niggas love to identify you at protests. Like
Mm-hmm.
there have been countless times where a cop has walked up to me and been like, "Yeah, I remember you," you know, and I don't fuck with that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want you to know who I am. Um, and there was even one protest that we did at what is it, Columbus and Roosevelt? I think over there.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't at the Black and Indigenous Solidarity rally. Thank God. I probably would have died.
No, same. I was definitely like, wow. There was just some questioning in me that day. I was just like, I don't know. And then
I was literally at Target, and I had
five
like
minutes away,
I
I
had
was, you know,
yeah, exactly. And it was like around it got dark. I think it was like around like 8 or 9. And I'm like, damn, should I still go? But I got this big ass Target bag. I'm not ready for a protest. I don't even have goggles. I ain't got shit on me. Like but I'm glad I didn't because I had no clue what was going on. Gee, like but I felt something in the air.
yeah.
But yeah, like there was that it was the protest that we had. I can't talk. The
You're good. You're good. You're good. You're doing great. You're doing great.
protest that we did on Columbus and Roosevelt. I had blue hair that day. And I also had blue hair the day of the Oluwatoyin Salau protest. And I remember me and Gertrude were like walking, posting flyers for one of our next protests. And this guy with his kids stopped us. And he was like, "Oh my God, I remember y'all. I saw y'all on the news. Can we take a picture?" Blah, blah, blah. And that was cool. But I'm just like, damn, okay, if he like knows me based on this blue hair, like how many other random people that aren't cool like him know who the fuck I am.
For sure.
Oh, that's a good point.
So I definitely just tried to keep it low key. But then I stopped caring because if it's just me, if it's just the four of us, they're gonna catch on eventually. You know, like they already know who we are, kind of. And that is definitely terrifying. But you know, life. I just keep living it.
We're gonna put it out there that you're gonna be a-okay.
Look, I stay prayed up and protected.
Hey, come on, say that shit again, yo. Say that shit again.
Everybody touching me.
No.
Know it.
My last question for the day, because unfortunately we can't talk to you forever. I wish we could.
I know.
You know, we gotta wrap things up. So this will be my last question, and if Jumoke has another one, then we're here for it. But I just wanted, to end my line of questioning at least on, a positive note, an uplifting note. Like what are some other things you've been doing for self-care? Because you mentioned earlier, doing your hair is a form of self-care, and I totally agree. Like, what are other things you've been doing? Because you're out here protesting, you're out here making music, you're out here making sure everybody's good. But what are you doing for you?
Sometimes I have to force myself to stay home. That's like a huge thing because I always thought that I kind of had like memory loss or something, but it's really just because I'm so distracted during the day that I don't ever take the time to sit down and remember what happened yesterday or the week before or shit like that. And reflecting on those moments kind of I don't know, it does something for you, I feel like. And everybody should take the time to do that. Besides that, I've been actually skincaring and stuff. Like I have a little routine.
Love to see it. Yes.
What is it? Exfoliation and a little moisturization going on.
Okay.
So that's been happening. I've been doing things that I don't usually do for myself. I don't really buy myself clothes like that, but I've been you're making a little money now. You can, you got a job. You can buy yourself some shoes. It's okay.
A little pocket change, if you will, like the name of your.
Yes, a little pocket change. Yes.
Here for it.
And I've been doing little stuff like getting my nails done sometimes. Of course they're trash now, but it's because I had to, take them off the guitar. But yeah, little stuff like that. I've been sort of reorganizing my room. I buy myself plants all the time. You probably can't see, but I buy myself plants whenever I feel sad. So
no, I feel you. I mean, you helped get me into plants. I got this guy.
Yay! What kind of plant is that?
It's like ivy. I've got aloe sitting on my desk.
Oh wait, that doesn't look like ivy. That looks like a pothos or like a philodendron or something.
I don't know.
Okay, aloe vera.
These are my guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure what you said is right about that.
Let me see if I can grab my homie over here.
Okay, got a few.
Yeah, I got my baby right here. This is my baby.
Oh my gosh, what is
this
it?
This is my baby. I don't even know. And I have another huge.
Oh my god.
They have cool plant ID apps too. I'll send you one, Mocha.
This one right here. This one's big.
I use those whenever I go outside. That looks like a money tree.
Yeah, it's a money tree.
What's up?
Beautiful.
Nice.
But yeah, my friends probably hate me because I just take pictures of plants every time I'm outside. I'm like, take a picture of it.
Everybody's got their very slightly annoying thing, not full on, but just that's like.
Come on, we about to miss this bus. You over here taking pictures of dahlias and shit.
Shit's only come once every 25 minutes. But no, yo.
I think for me, before we wrap, I I know this might be counterintuitive, given that the first rule of Fight Club is that you're not supposed to talk about Fight Club. But
I can't tell
for
you
any, what'd you say?
I said I can't tell you anything about Black Girl Fight Club if that's what you're about to ask.
I was gonna ask for our Black women listeners, how can they tap in with you? Yeah,
okay.
exactly. And how can Black men show support? Be it through resources, like how can niggas donate? Like what can folks do to either join if that's a space for them, or find out more, or how can we amplify and contribute to the work that y'all are doing?
Well, you can follow Black Rising at BLCK Rising on Twitter, Instagram, or whatever social media your heart desires. Cough, Facebook. Nobody uses it anymore. And you can follow me at anaiet.soul, SOUL, on Instagram. And I don't use my Facebook, so don't try to find me. And you can also just, show up to our actions when we have them. We've been doing less protest type actions, I guess, and more like solidarity stuff or community building stuff. So, yeah.
Hey.
What else? What else? In terms of just like supporting Black women and people in general, check on your niggas, bro. Make sure they're okay. If you can have the energy to do it for them. I love giving my friends gifts. Like checking on them, visiting them, make sure they're okay.
You do always show up with food.
Yes, I try to show food all the time. It's because it's the little things. It really is the little things. And if you start with, the people around you in your vicinity, or if you start caring for yourself, then that in turn will probably show up in your community.
That's the perfect.
That's so beautiful. Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us, sharing your time with us. We really appreciate your insights and thoughts, and so lucky and grateful to have you on the podcast.
Yes, this was so fantastic. Like, once again, we had Anaiet Soul joining us today. We're gonna, link all your socials and everything in the description, and, make sure it's plastered all over the screen. Like, so
okay.
Follow. So honestly, have a great night, fam. And let's
I miss you. I gotta see you. Group hug.
Virtual group hug.
Shed a thug tear.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. That was a fantastic interview with Anaiet Soul. Didn't I tell y'all, motherfuckers, she's talented.
Let the people know, Jacob.
We told them. She's talented as fuck, you know what I'm saying? Go follow and listen to her music on Spotify. Go tap in with Black Rising. If you're a Black femme-bodied person, what's the group called again? The Black Girl
Fight Club.
Black Girl Fight Club. And as Moke said, and as Anaiet let us know, the first rule of Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club.
Can't talk about fucking Fight Club.
Yo.
If it's not for you, it's not for you. You could donate.
Exactly.
You could show up and support in other ways. But again,
we'll be putting all the Venmo, Cash App information. Because this is the current movement. And the movement has always been bigger than financial, but that is a very fucking important piece. So we all got to do our part. With that being said, just one last thank you and shout outs to Anaiet Soul, coming from Chicago. Super talented, a very great friend, and a friend of the show. With all that being said, it's coming to that time. Not quite the end, but, we're ushering our way out. The collection plate is coming around. Moke.
We get closer to y'all don't gotta go home, but you gotta get the fuck out of here. No.
Precisely.
Nah, but real talk. I was thinking about how this is gonna air the day after the election, right? And so I'm wondering what message you have for future Jacob, which to our listeners is now present Jacob. Here we go. Time travel.
Oh, you watched too much Cyber Chase as a kid. I love it.
But what's one message you have for yourself that you want to tell future Jacob, future/present Jacob?
Okay.
And
Okay.
what's a song recommendation that you have for future Jacob who is coping with the election after that?
Okay. Whoosh. Okay. I'll just do it either way it goes type thing. All right. So either way it goes, for thoughts I would tell myself, or what I'll probably be thinking, I'll definitely feel more relieved if it's Biden over the other nigga. Not because Biden is exceptional or anything like that, but, you know, just for reasons I feel obvious that I'm not going to get into right now. But either way, I'm just going to be telling myself, like, you know, just keep yourself grounded. Like, there's hella work to be done. Like, no matter who's in the office, you know, starting from 2021 in January, like, 2021 is still going to be a fucking mess. So, like, I'm telling myself, like, yo, make sure you're checking in with yourself every day, you know, so the seasonal depression don't hit. Like, just shit, like, in general. Like, I'm going to wake up and, like, no matter which way it goes, just try not to have it affect my mood to a point of being like, I can't even think or do anything. Because, like, we can't move and shake like we used to because, you know, it's a pandemic. So I don't want to, even though this election is super fucking important, I don't want to have it just take over my mental space. So I'm just going to tell myself to, you know, chillax. If you need to take the day, you know, take it or whatever, but just chill. In terms of song recommendations, I've got two. And they work either way. Off air, we were talking about Naruto, so one would be the Fighting Dreamers theme song.
Yo,
that's you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We are going with that. My second one and my most important one is, it also works either way, is I'll be listening to F Granddad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Both them niggas is washed, and it works as either an angry song, if the expired Cheeto wins, or it works as just a like, haha, buddy, you old as shit, nigga, you know, song. So those would be my two that I'll rock with for now. How about you?
Shout out to the Boondocks. That is one of the funniest episodes.
Bro, I need Aaron McGruder to come back. R.I.P. John Witherspoon to go. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P.
For sure. For me, I think my message to future/present Jumoke. It makes me think of the Justin Timberlake album, Future Sex Love Song.
Really great, really fucking great album. Sorry, keep going.
I would say, you know, love on your people.
Mm-hmm.
Love on your people. And that's really something that I want to prioritize in my life going forward beyond this election, beyond the scope of you know, U.S. political theater. Really focusing on loving on my people. And for song choice, I'm going to say Hard Knock Life, not the Jay-Z song.
Boo! Boo! There's no other version. Boo!
The original song from the musical Annie.
Boo!
No, hold on.
If Marcy Projects was a gentrified boy.
Because it is such a fun song to sing. It's so cathartic. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us. And I feel really like, funny. Yeah, if I'm tight, it'll be something that I can, you know, get this frustration out with.
Yeah.
And if I'm just fatigued, it'll be something I can do to just have a little fun with myself. So, Hard Knock Life, the original cast of Annie.
Oh my God. What you call it?
And one day on this show, we're not going to get to it today, but one day I'm going to put y'all onto some musicals because
Fair.
It's a very rich genre.
I'll put y'all onto some anime then. That'll be the flip side. Wait, what you call it? You saying the Annie shit just now made me realize I had the crazy fucking Jimmy Neutron Brain Blast. Fucking, if this presidential election were two Drake songs going up against each other, Trump would be Ratchet Happy Birthday. Like,
no! How could you? No! Wow! See, you just extended the episode like 15 minutes because now I gotta come get you.
He would be Ratchet Happy Birthday. Like, because specifically for white people,
how dare you?
A, the song is fucking trash.
How?
B, he wasted a great song title on a trash song. But also C, for white people, like for black people seeing Ratchet Happy Birthday, I thought that shit was gonna be lit, and it was mid as fuck. It was Reggie at best. Like
I can't believe
like regular white people who don't view themselves as white supremacists, even though they probably do fall into the white supremacist doctrine, it seems like there's like a good amount of white people being like, he's not what I thought he would be. So that's why he would be Ratchet Happy Birthday for Drake's discography. I would say Biden would then be Turn the 6 Upside Down. That's a 9.
Wow, wait, no, stop. I like both of these songs, bro.
And I will explain my reasoning because that hook is fucking dumb, bro. It's so dumb.
What?
Like,
what?
Yo. So I say all this to say Biden would be the 6 Upside Down song. Because 69 is funny. But also because Drake tried his best to make the shit hard, and like Biden and Kamala are admittedly just cornballs, bro. Like, so I feel like these two songs, if you're voting in this election, actually, maybe don't listen to me for what I'm about to say, but if you're voting in this election, you're essentially voting for Ratchet Happy Birthday versus 6 Upside Down.
I must
yeah, 6 Upside Down
interject at this slander that is being thrown at one of Drake's most underrated songs.
We're gonna put up a poll so people can vote, because both songs fucking suck.
First of all, let's take a deep dive for a second. Now we're gonna take a deep dive for a moment into Ratchet Happy Birthday.
Right?
Just trash. Look at the lyrical content of what this man is saying, right? He's saying, seems at times out of our control, right? Now he's talking about non-linear time right there. Seems like time is out of our control.
But time is always non-linear.
You know what I'm saying?
But time is always non-linear.
No, let me put my the hotel hat on. What Brother Drake is saying
We're getting a little
here, time being out of our control is an articulation that time is a part of the colonial imagination, brother. Time is a part of the colonial imagination, brother. And yet, it's a celebration. Oh. Despite the fact that we are stuck in this colonial box of time, there's still room for celebration and black expansiveness.
And to that, I would say to you, since you are Mr. Hotep, but Drake dates white women in Eastport. So what is your retaliation to that?
So we get it messy.
So those are the two things they always tell you not to do. So you can't really kick for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Y'all can cancel me for that one. I'll take my yellow card. I'll take my red card. Like,
I'm crying. My days. We need to wrap. We're wrapping on that.
Yes.
We're closing on that.
All right, Moke. What do you want to leave the people with? Where can they find you? Where can they love on you?
Yo, come love on me and Ratchet Happy Birthday. You can find me on Instagram, Jumoke Akil, Jumoke.
I should make a remix of that song. It's just not lit enough.
Yeah, I can't. Jacob, where can the folks find you?
You can find me Instagram, Twitter, Young Savoye. Also, make sure to follow the Short Boy Crew page. We're on both Twitter and Instagram as Short Boy Crew, SHORTBOYCREW. To find us as a collective, we have two other awesome members, Milo Dijon Mustard Hume and Bisa Diop Thurman, who are a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Actually, you know what? I should change it every week to a different mustard. Milo Grey Poupon Hume and Bisa Duffy Thurman are also two of our founding members. We'll be getting great content from them as well soon. So definitely follow the page, stay tapped in. And then for my shit, the way you spell it is YUNGSAVOYE. You know what I'm saying? We're at our little shout out section. So I definitely just want to give shout outs to everybody that's, dealing with a sick family member or friend or just someone in the community, or if you yourself are sick, just because COVID cases are just fucking through the roof. Worldwide, but in terms of the US, the shit is like the Midwest and the South right now really heavily. Shout outs to everybody that has jobs working on the front lines, everybody that doesn't have a job and, is collecting unemployment because you pay for that money. That's just yours. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Shout outs to Black people and indigenous people everywhere. And you know what I'm saying? I won't go into it too hard this week, But, you know, shout outs to the niggas that have been holding down the economy, pandemic or no pandemic. They've truly excelled in the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of unemployment, shout outs to my fucking scammers. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little tired, so I can't give y'all a social. You know what I'm saying? But I will just say, you know, there's a lot of empty apartments in New York, specifically Manhattan now. So you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not telling you to do anything. But you know what I'm saying?
Yo, y'all need to stop this man. He's gonna do this every week until y'all stop him.
That's all I'm saying. You know, I appreciate and love everybody I shouted out. You know, and shout outs to my family. Yeah. Oh, and shout outs to our fucking editor, Ray. Follow them at RAE_CH. You know, they hold it down every fucking week with the amazing edits, the amazing animation. You know, they fucking held us down with the Lionel Coinbank joke last episode. You know what I'm saying? They're here. They put the fucking teaspoon stats, of which there were so fucking many. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to them. And that's all I got. You got any shout outs?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out especially to Walter Wallace Jr., his family, you know, really sending them a lot of love and uplifting them. I want to give a shout out to, you know, our cousins in Nigeria, specifically, you know, our trans and queer cousins who are really on the front lines of organizing these NSARS protests. I want to give a shout out to, you know, folks who are protesting in the Congo right now, in Namibia, folks in South Africa. Just really, there's so much global diasporic revolutionary response to colonial violence. And there's a lot of pain that's come with that, but also a lot of triumph. And so I really just want to give a shout out to those people and those families and folks who continue to lose loved ones on a daily basis. It's a nightmare, and I'm also really grateful for the ways that Black folks continue to insist upon our freedom and insist upon the freedom and safety of each other. And I hope that we can continue to uplift each other, continue to, you know, struggle for the liberation of all Black people across the globe, wherever we are. So big shout outs again to those people and sending y'all love. Yeah. Always love.
Of course. Yo, Black Lives Matter everywhere. Good night, y'all.
Peace.
Fighting.